All right, good evening, good evening. Welcome back. This is Elaine, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. Welcome to our webinar. This is series 2 of our webinar, Brainstorm to Business Success. So I want to welcome you guys on today. We have a lot of great stuff we're going to go through. I'm Elaine Proby. Of course, I have a lot of stuff in store that I wanted to give to you guys so that you can get your business started. Of course, if you have already started, I want to make sure that you guys can actually run and operate it successfully. So as a backstory, I have been operating my business. This year, we are celebrating 40 years in business. And I actually started, I was exactly where most of you were, not in business, working on a job. And after that job filed bankruptcy back in the days, I realized that I need to be able to do something for myself, something I can rely on, something that relies on me to make it successful. So I started my business literally 40 years ago today. So with that said, I wanted to run some stuff by you guys, give y'all some steps that you can get your business started and so that you can run and operate it successfully. So we're going to jump into course 2 of From Brainstorm to Business Success. So let's jump right into this, guys. Thank you for joining me today. All right, we're going to have a great time today. So let's get right into our topic. All the steps that we're going to talk about is 5 steps that we're going to cover. And these 5 steps, I want you guys to make some notes. You'll be able to come back to this video and go over everything that we talked about today. But we will start. What we will cover today is your business bank accounts, the importance of that, loans and lines of credit for your business. We're going to talk about business operations system, very important information that you need. We're going to talk about a business tools and equipment that you're going to need to make your business successful. And of course, we're going to talk about the business personnel, because you need to have the right people in place in order for you to drive a very successful business. All right, so let's just jump right into these topics today. And the first one that we will cover is the business bank account. Now, I always let my clients know that the first thing you want to do when you start your business is to get you a business bank account. Very important. Okay, so there are several types of business bank accounts. The thing about it is you must separate your personal from your business expenses. We got to start there, personal from business expenses. So get you a business bank account, which is a financial account specifically dedicated to the transaction of your business and provide you that whole separation, an organization platform of managing your finances. All right, so there are 6 types of business bank accounts, and you don't need all 6. You can get 1 bank account, or you can literally maybe do 2. I suggest at least 2 or 3 so you can separate different types of income and expenses in these various bank accounts. So first one we all need to have is a business checking. A business checking account is similar to a personal checking account, but may come with higher monthly fees, balance requirements. Some banks require you to have higher balances when you keep open a business bank account. And there are other limitations in business bank accounts. So make sure that you read all of the fine print or let them explain to you how you can maintain a business bank account without accruing additional fees. A business savings account is the other bank account you can have. And the business savings account is very similar, again, to your personal savings account, but may come with higher minimum balances. Again, some of these savings accounts need for you to have 1,000, maybe 5,000, depends on what bank it is. So there's minimum balances that they allow you to keep without incurring fees on these accounts. Okay, so make sure you know what those requirements are. And it's good for you to simplify so that at tax time, when you want to separate your business expenses from your personal, you can go back to these bank accounts, these business dedicated accounts, and know exactly what you ran through your business. Another great account to have is a money market account. Again, traditional savings account, a high interest business. This is what money market accounts, they usually pay you a higher interest rate than a regular savings account, and it provides a greater return and flexibility, making it ideal for business who is seeking increased profitability while you retain a convenient access to these funds. So the funds are not tied up, they're just sitting in a money market account, maintaining a high interest rate. And the higher the balances are, the higher the interest rate is, and it is an excellent way to continue to build on that account. Okay, so it's a savings account but pays high interest rate and require a higher balance to maintain. Another great account is the certificate of deposit. We talked about CDs. That's what that is, certificate of deposit. An elevated interest alternative to certificate of deposit business account. It entails securing funds from a predetermined duration. So when you open a CD, you open a CD for maybe a 3-month period, a 6-month period, or a 12-month period, right? So for the duration of that CD, the interest rate is higher or lower depending on how long you deposit those monies into a certificate of deposit. So the longer you keep that money in there, the higher the interest rate. So if you have some funds set aside and you have additional funds that you want to put up and earn a higher interest rate, instead of keeping it in a regular savings account, or instead of keeping it in a money market account, it'd be great for you to put it in a CD, which is a certificate of deposit account. Okay, and this will see a higher interest rate of return on your money. Another account, guys, you want to have is a merchant account. And a merchant account essentially for business seeking to process credit card online. And so you can dedicate a merchant account. All of your processing for the credit card fees and revenues goes into that merchant account. It separates all of your revenues, so you know which is coming through that merchant account as opposed to revenues that comes in through checks or cash. So again, a merchant account is a great account to have as well if you're running credit cards and different types of card payments, right? So finally, we get to a trust account. The trust account is mandated for certain professionals. Now, if you're in certain type of business, if you're a lawyer, if you're in certain types of business where you have monies that belongs to your clients, you need to, and it is mandated. It is the law that you have to maintain a trust account because those monies in a trust account, they're not yours. You are holding those funds on behalf of a client. So you would want to have a trust account to separate those funds so that those monies can be there when it's time for you to pay out to your clients. So you have to safeguard that money. It's not earned income. And if you have retainers or any fees, you will have to pull it from that trust account and put it into your regular general business operating account. So do not mess up the two of them. Do not mix them. Do not go cross or commingle any funds that has anything to do with a trust account. Very, very important. Okay, so that is the part of the business account that I really want to discuss with you guys. It's so important. A lot of people ask about that and ask about the business account. Ask what account should they open? Should they have more than one account? Very important. These steps, these points, these different types of accounts give you an idea of what you should open. And again, if you follow these steps, it will make it very, very easy for you to track and control your income as it comes in and your expenses as it goes out. All right, so now we move on to loans and lines of credit. Most businesses, generally, when you start, especially a startup business, we all are looking for funding, right? So in order to get substantial funding to operate, most businesses are looking for business loans or a business line of credit. So business loans entail securing a lump sum of money, funds from a financial institution, or usually a bank or some other institution that gives you funding, and they will allow you to have this money over a period of time, some an 18-month period, some 24 months, some up to 36 months, right? And it will be a fixed payment, fixed interest rate. Those are the ones you want to look for. There's a lot of different types of business loans, but you want to look at business loans that have fixed payments. The financing methods is employed by the business for operational expenses, expansion, and financial purposes. When you go for a business loan, definitely you have to say why you need this money. And for the most part, the lending institution needs to know why you need the money. And for business expansion, operating expenses, just to keep your operating expenses, and for you to be able to finance the business as it grows. Okay, so business loans are great. Just make sure that you are able to get one that has good terms. The other line of loans that you can get is what is called a line of credit. The business line of credit now offers a flexible credit limit that can be drawn as you need. Now, I love the line of credit because the bank will allow you, let's say, $100,000 line of credit. You do not have to pay interest on the entire amount. It says that your interest is paid only on the amount that you utilize. The line of credit are beneficial for managing your cash flow gaps of covering ongoing operating needs. So as you need the funds and you pull it from the line of credit is when you get to pay interest on the amount that you use. So line of credit is excellent because it saves you interest because the lump sum of money you're not paying interest on. Okay, so if you can get a line of credit, it's better to maintain a line of credit than a regular business loan. Okay, so guys, there's 10 types of business loans. And again, there's so many different loans out there. And you have to pay attention to those loans and make sure that you get one that is right for you. So we have term loans. There are SBA loans. So a lot of people are looking for SBA loans, and SBA offer different types of loans. So you want to check and see based on what it is that you need the money for. You may want to go for an SBA loan because the terms are better, the interest rate are usually better. So look into SBA loan, look into term loans. And again, we talked about the business line of credit here a minute ago, and there are equipment loans. Now, equipment loans, there's certain institutions that will only finance your equipment. So that is excellent if you're into a business where you need to get the major equipment, which costs a lot of money. They will give you an equipment loan, and they will, of course, use your equipment as collateral for that loan. So it's a lot easier to get an equipment loan because the banks, the financial institution already have a collateral that they will use, which is that equipment. So equipment loans is a good one if you're in the type of business that needs equipment. All right. So then you have invoice factoring. So a lot of businesses use the factoring, and what that is the factoring, of course, is where you get the money up front and you pay a fee to allow the use of your monies up front. And so the factoring company, they take a fee to advance you the money. Okay, so that is excellent. It works well. It gives you operational capital as you need it and as you go along. Okay, so it is great. A lot of company uses it. And again, unless you're able to wait for your receivables 30 or 60 days, if you can get factoring done with your invoices, it's a good way to have a good some cash flow. All right, so that's the invoice factoring. Invoice financing, same principle, different types of fees. The key to getting any of these loans or line of credit, guys, is to make sure that the fees and interest rate and all that type of stuff works in your favor. Make sure that you get the best advantage that you can get out there, because there's so many people that's willing to give you money, but it's not always a good advice to take certain types of loan over another based on how they want you to pay back. Some of these loans want you to pay back on a weekly basis, some of them on a monthly basis, some of them the terms are way too short and the interest rate is way too high, and your monthly payments may be a little bit more cumbersome. So you must pay attention to that. Okay, so that's the lines of credit, the invoice factoring, invoice financing, merchant cash advances. This is really a good one. There are these credit card, we have these merchants, these third party folks that we do credit card through. So they advance, based on your utilization of that credit card and how much they're paying you, like Uber Eats, like Square, and these folks, they can advance you your cash that you are expected to receive. And this is all done based on your usage. So depending on how much usage, if you have $100,000 worth of credit card fees coming through there on a regular basis, they can advance you an amount, maybe $50,000, $60,000 worth of cash based on those merchant monies that's going to come through that credit card once you make your sale. So that's an excellent one. It doesn't take a lot to get that. It doesn't need a lot of paperwork or documentation, because they're strictly basing this on the amount of cash flow that comes in through your credit cards. Okay, so that's an excellent one. Merchant cash advances. Personal loans for business. A lot of us do this all the time. A lot of people use this personal loans to finance their business. So many people can tell you that, because a lot of times it's easier for you to get a personal loan because you might have great personal credit. Your business might be way too new, can't stand on its own 2 feet. You can get a personal loan based on your whole personal financial profile a lot easier in many cases, because a lot of places want you to be the personal guarantor anyway on these loans. So personal loans for business, that's an easy way to get some funding. And of course, when you get a personal loan for your business, be sure to let the business pay that money back, okay? Because it technically is used for the business. So as the business is able to pay that money, let the business pay that money back. The other one is business credit cards. Now, a lot of banks will allow the businesses to get a fairly decent line of credit on credit cards. They will grant you credit cards with lines up to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, depending on the bank, but depending on the relationship. So that's an excellent way to also get some funding for your business through the business credit cards. It can allow you to get supplies. It allows you to pay certain bills with the credit card. So it helps with your cash flow so you can pay stuff without using the actual cash that's coming in that you need for operation expenses. Okay, so business credit cards, it's great. Every bank that you go to may allow you to have a credit card with a decent amount of credit line that will allow you to have some excess cash there in order for you to fund. All right, so that is excellent. And then the next one is microloans. So there's so many places you could get microloans. These loans, they're quick. Some of them are no documentation. Certain banks will give you an amount of money if it's under, say, $50,000 or under $100,000, and they call it like no docs. There's no documentation, or maybe at 25, 10 or $25,000 microloans, and they don't need any documentation. They're not looking for tax returns. They're not looking for any financial statements or any of that stuff. So there's a lot of microloans that you can get, 10, 15, 20, $25,000, that is not going to require a huge credit score and or documentation in order for you to get those funding. Those are really great, good cash flow, especially when you first start out your business. And look, $10,000 or $15,000 can go a long way when you don't have a good cash flow and you're trying to get the business to another level. All right, so that's an excellent way to go as well. So those are the loans and lines of credit that we wanted to talk about today. And I think what else? We have the unsecured line of credit. The unsecured line of credit, that's what we talked about, where there's no collateral. Typically, the unsecured debt, which means you don't need to put any collateral up, that is an unsecured line of credit, which is also great. Assets that the lender can sell if you default in a debt. You don't really literally have to put anything up on the unsecured line of credit. Okay, so that is great. Now, when you get a secured line of credit, two types of business lines of credit. When you get a secured line of credit, that's the second type of business line of credit. A secured line of credit is typically secured by a blanket lien that they put on your assets or certificate of deposit, which means that the lender can sell your asset to secure that debt, right? If you default. So that's what a secured line of credit is. So again, they'll file a UCC filing on your asset and it's secured, that loan. So if you default, they can actually sell those assets and get paid. That's the difference between the unsecured and the secured line of credit. Okay, so that is it for funding. And guys, let's move right on into our business operations systems. Okay, so business operations systems, very, very important to the success of your business. The business operations system is a comprehensive set of processes defining your company's unique approach to operations, market strategy, product delivery, customer interactions. It transcends leadership, facilitate a self-managing business capable of scaling and attracting professional investors. Very, very important. If you don't have a great business operations system in place, again, it could be the downfall of your business and definitely don't allow for growth, right? So it has to have a foundation for everything to stand on in order for your business to grow. So there's 8 business operations systems that we want to talk about in these key areas, right? First point is the vision. You want to clarify your business vision and ensure that all team members are aligned with it. This involves articulating the company's purpose, the mission, and the long-term goal. This is where you start. Start with what your vision is. The second one is the people. You have to have managing and optimizing the human resources within the organization. This includes your hiring, the training process, developing employees, as well as fostering a positive and collaborative work culture. So you have to have good people in place, and you have to have a great atmosphere and a great culture for everyone to be able to work effectively and be as productive as you need them to be. The third one is the process. Now, this is where it comes in. You have to develop and document efficiently and standardize what the process is across all the various aspects of the business. So everything has to align. You have to ensure consistency. This will reduce errors and enhance overall operational efficiency. So it means there has to be an effective flow all across all of your various departments, and so that everything can be very effective and flows very efficiently. This is what we need to have a good operational system. And now the fourth point is execution. So execution is the context of project management. In everything you do, there's got to be project management. This is the phase where the project plan is put into action. It involves the implementation of tasks, processes, and active outline the project plan to achieve the project objective. So we have a plan in place. Now we got to execute that plan, right? Like anything else, you got to execute that plan. And all the management and everyone in place have to be ready to execute the plan that is put in place so that the project can flow. The execution phase is very dynamic and may reveal unanticipated problems sometimes. And if there are issues that need to be addressed promptly, successfully, execution requires effective coordination, communication, and monitoring to ensure that the project stays on track and meets its goals, right? Ideal. If you have a project and you want to execute it properly, you have to monitor so you can stay on track so that it can meet its goal. The phase is integrated to the project management lifecycle, bridging the gap between planning and delivery. So you have a plan and you execute it so you can deliver. This is the key in order to have a business flowing very successfully. Guys, it's like a machine. It's like a machine. It's like a conveyor belt. Everything has to flow. And this is how the business will be successful. The fifth one are issues, right? Nothing comes without issues. In project management, issues refer to the unexpected problems or challenges that arise during the execution of a project. These can include obstacles, right? Setbacks, deviation from the planned course of action. This happens. Nothing goes as planned. We know the story. Issues are typically recorded in an issue log, so we know what those issues are, which helps the project team to track and derail all of these details, all of these problems. Its current status and the individual that is responsible for resolving it, right? So we have to have someone in place to resolve these problems and resolve them effectively. Managing the issues is crucial for ensuring that the successful completion of the project is going to allow the team to address and overcome challenges in a timely manner. Again, there's always going to be issues. Guys, nothing goes very smooth and nothing goes as planned. But the idea is to make sure that there's someone in place that's going to take care of these issues very efficiently, very effectively, and make sure that everything is handled to the completion of the project and allow it to flow very freely. Okay, very important. 6th point today is data and metrics. Data and implementing system to collect and analyze and leverage data to make informed decisions. You cannot run and operate a successful operation, a successful business without having data and metrics so you could leverage, so you could know how things are measuring up. Got to have this, very important. This involves establishing key performance indicators and using metrics to track the company's progress. So you have to know how things are working out. This is going to allow you to know whether or not you can continue down the path that you're going, or you need to come up with a different plan. So you have to monitor this, and you have to keep all of the data and all of the metrics to leverage. This is very important information for you to run and operate a successful business, guys. And here comes the key. Number 7, the profit margin and financials. So now you have all that stuff in place. You have to monitor and manage the financial health of the business. This includes your tracking your revenue, managing the cost, ensuring the profitability while maintaining financial sustainability. If you are not tracking your revenue and your expenses, what comes in and what is going out, there's no way for you to manage financially and sustain a healthy business growth, because you don't know what you have, what's coming in, and what is going out. Very, very important. A lot of businesses ignore this. We must measure a profit margin in our financials. The 8th point is customer feedback. To run and operate a very successful business, guys, is very important. Incorporating your customer feedback and insights into the decision-making process. A successful BOS places a strong emphasis on understanding their customer needs and continuously improving products or services. How do we get better? Based on our customer feedback. They will let you know when things are not right, what their expectations are, when you don't meet those expectations. Everyone have a different set of expectations. Don't take anything lightly. One person may have a different type of expectation. Trust me, if one person does, it's going to be a lot more people who does. So don't take it very lightly. The customer feedback, very, very important. So those are the operation, the system. Now we move on into business tools and equipment. You got to have this in order to run and operate a very successful business. So business tools and equipment, managing any business, impeccable of any size, can be very stressful, especially when handling solo without the aid of proper management. But proper management tools, right? Implementing the right technology enhances multiple aspects of business operations, including time tracking, workflow management, customer relation, invoicing and reporting. So this is a lot to keep together, right? Everyone will agree. It's very difficult and very stressful in order to do this. So you need to have certain tools, certain equipment that will allow you to track the stuff and help you to manage. And there's so many tools out there that you can use. So there's 6 management tools for small businesses we want to just point out here today. There is a project management tool that can automatically generate and send reminders for upcoming tasks and events, keeping everyone updated on everything on the project and agenda, and details such as time, place, and budget of the event. So there's project management tools. Definitely you need to use that. Must use it if you're not. There's a calendar management. Definitely got to have this. Implementing a calendar software can result in optimizing your time, enhance your client management. Calendly and Square offer automated appointment booking, which can improve staff scheduling and enhance client management. So got to have this, give you reminders and manage everything. So it gives you time and date and you won't get off track. And this is great. Must have this. Is one of the tools that you got to have. There is this workplace communication software. Okay. Modern digital communication tools can enable your team to stay in touch through chatting. This is excellent. File sharing, video conference. You can use a communication tool such as Notion, Zoom, Slack, WhatsApp, or Facebook Messenger to communicate instantly, engaging and exchanging text, images, videos, files, or web links and other people within your company. Need to do this, must do this. If you haven't already done this, use communication software, guys. It's excellent. All day long, you can communicate while you work. You could be doing something and you can communicate. You could respond to a text. You could respond to a message. You could respond to an email. When you want to get together, you could do Zoom. You could do have Notion reports and send stuff, videos, and all that stuff to each other and communicate. Nothing is done without great communication within the workplace. Okay, there is invoicing software. Invoicing software tools produces your billing for services and products and provide historical insight into your finances. Such solutions usually come with customizable templates that simplify invoice generation. You have to invoice for your services, and having a software to do this makes it so much simpler, so much easier. You can automate your billing. Invoices can go out automatically, and it's so much easier to generate an invoice, unlike the way you have to manually do it. Okay, so invoicing software. If you don't have one, make sure that you get your hands on one. Document management tools. Google Drive is an excellent choice for small business to store, manage, and track electronic documents securely, and it also allows for collaboration. So make sure that you also are very familiar and utilizing document management tools, guys. So that brings you to all the communication stuff that you need in your business in order for you to run and operate a successful business. Okay, so 15, lead management and key personnel position in a business. Very important now. You've got so much in place, but of course you got to have the right people in place as well. People who is going to execute, people who's going to expedite, people who's going to oversee, people who's going to manage. So the first point of contact is this CEO, which is the chief executive officer or the president of the corporation. This person will be the driving force behind the company, making things happen and putting together the resources to support the company. Now, you can start the business, you can be the CEO or the president, but you don't have to maintain the CEO position if you would like. Someone else could be that officer if you like. But the key is that this is what that person is supposed to be doing. Then you have your chief operating officer, your COO, vice president of operations, or the general manager. This person is the one who will make sure the company operation flows smoothly and economically. He or she is responsible for making certain that necessary work is done properly and on time. So the chief operation officer, just like it says, self-explanatory, will make sure the operation runs very smoothly and things are done properly and on time. Very important. Third position, the vice president of marketing or the marketing manager has to have this. Most businesses need to market their products to the customer to be successful. The individual in this slot should have both marketing and industry experience in order to be effective. Okay, so the fourth position, very important, is the CFO or the controller, chief financial officer. You may wish to establish two positions, or you can combine them both roles into one. The responsibility of one role is to seek, to look for investors, to deal with banks, lenders, and so on. And the responsibility of the controller role is to manage money, watch over the assets of the company. It is not uncommon to have the same individuals seek money and manage money at the same time. This is the person that is going to make sure that all of the finances of the business operation is on point. Okay, so the chief financial officer, very key personnel to your business operation. Okay, the fifth position is your vice president of product or production manager. Good production managers with specific industry knowledge and experience are sometimes difficult to find. In the beginning, you may subcontract some production. However, once you're in the business where you're producing product, a good production manager is the key to make sure that everything flows, make sure that quality control is there. They are the person that's going to make sure that your production is A1. Okay, very important. Second position, operations manager. The operations manager handles external relations. So with lenders, with community, with vendors, this person will set the motion and the vision, strategic plan, goals for the business, and production or marketing for the business. So they keep the dots connected between the community, the vendors, and the business. So the operation manager, a very important key position. Guys, if you are in a business At some point, if you haven't already got this position filled, and these positions can be filled with more than with the same person, they could be operating in different positions. But as the business grow, you're going to have to separate it in order for you to be more successful, for you to get even bigger, because then the position becomes too much for one person. Okay, so keep in mind, you may not need all of it now, but you will. Second point is the quality control, safety, environmental manager. Totally important in any industry, especially those dealing with food products. A crucial role involves one person overseeing the OSHA and the EPA compliances. Very serious, or you could be closed down. Monitoring air and water quality, ensuring product quality, conducting employee training in these areas, managing and filing of the monthly, quarterly, and yearly reports in a small business setting. Control, quality control, very important, guys. This can definitely shut your business down. So for you to operate a successful business, must have good quality control. Okay. The eighth one is accountant, bookkeeper, controller. This represents another critical role where the person in this position is accountable for monthly income statements and balance sheets, handling receivables, collection, managing your payroll, overseeing the cash management. The central focus here lies in effective cash management. And let me tell you this, you cannot do without. Doesn't matter if there's one person doing so many jobs, but this right here, having good accounting and good having control over your financials, you have to generate monthly income statements. You have to have those balance sheets, and of course your receivables. As you work, as you produce, you have invoices going out. Someone has to handle those receivables to make sure that funds come in for your cash flow to be liquid. Super important, guys. You cannot run and operate a successful business without it. Okay. Number 9 is an office manager. Very important position as well. The individual occupying this position may also function as the human resource director, act as a purchasing agent, and play the role of a traffic cop in coordinating with salespeople and vendors. Generally, this employee will supervise aspects unrelated to production and may additionally take on certain marketing responsibilities. So the office manager is a key role also to keep everything cohesive. Okay. And number 10, receptionist. This is the frontline person of your business. The receptionist handles the phone calls, greets visitors, handles the mail, does the billing, performs many other tasks and required by the office manager. I know today with a lot of stuff being automated, it still does not dictate what happens in a front office enough for it to not warrant having a good receptionist on staff. Okay, so very important, guys. Number 11, 4-person supervisor or a lead person. This individual is the second in command in shop and will oversee production in the absence of the owner, general manager, or the president. The position usually will have an overall understanding of all aspects of the business and also handle working with the new employees, including setting up training and schedules. So the supervisor, for a person, a very intricate person in the business, to make sure that you have the right people in the right place that are trained properly in order to do the job and get it done well. Okay, and on time, on schedule. And number 12, marketing manager. Very, very important. If business finances permit, a marketing manager may be on staff to handle all aspects related to promoting and selling the product. If you can afford it, you can have one on staff. If not, you can use it when you need to, or when you can afford to pay for one. The top management person often handles this duty in a small business. But as the business grows, guys, you may want to get an external person in order to handle the marketing and the promotion of the business product and or services. Okay, so 13, purchasing manager. Based on the business that you're in, duties of this position may be filled by either or both the general manager or a top management person and the office manager. However, the supervisors or lead person often also is involved in the purchasing. So based on the type of business you are in, a purchasing manager works, or some or other folks can fill this position as well. Okay. Number 4, shipping and receiving. Based on your business, if you're sending out products. If you're sending out products, this may not be a part-time or full-time position in a startup business. Someone, however, needs to be assigned to the task of packaging, ordering, transportation for delivery, receiving incoming material, and warehousing of finished goods in stocks. If you are outsourcing this stuff where you are not handling things yourself, but again, the shipping manager would be the person that would be in charge of making sure if you're using an external source, because so many things are done differently, but someone is always going to have to be in place in order to stay on top of the outgoing and the incoming, even if it's a matter of reading the bill of lading and making sure things are getting where it's supposed to be on a timely manner, because you could be using the wrong source and not really knowing it if you are not on top of the business and the shipping person or manager is not on top of it. Okay. So number 15, professional staff. Essential for any company, whether new or established, are key professional roles within the organization. These roles comprise of an accountant, a lawyer when you need them, an IT person or consultant, don't have to be on staff, and potentially a local doctor, it says, or access of medical facilities. And this is something that every business just need to have handy. As you guys know, you got to have first aid kits and different things handy. So if there is an accident, if there's any emergency, at least you know where the staff can go or where you can go or what to do for your employees. Okay. So while not explicitly designed as full-time positions, these roles should be acknowledged as integral part of the management team and addressed during the business plan development. So there could be these sources and these contact and everything just readily available in the interim your business needs to get to it. Okay, so now 5 steps to hire an employee for your business. We talk about those roles and positions. Now you have to have the people who are actually going to be working and executing. 5 steps in hiring employees for your business. Of course, we all want the best employees. So let's look at what these steps are. Define the support needed. So first of all, you need to know what exactly do you need. Consider if you need temporary help, part-time help, or full-time employee. Once you have decided on the support that you need, craft a job title and a job description that best describe the role. So first you need to know what you want. Then you have to describe it and design it. Your job description should clearly outline the job responsibilities and the requirements. Think about the key words and phrases a potential candidate might search for and use them in your description to increase the chances of your postings showing up in a job seekers and get the best result. So based on the position you're looking for, based on the keyword that you use, that would attract some or all of the right people to your job posting. Okay, very important. So figure out how you want to define your support and get it out there. Then, most importantly, follow labor laws. Cannot run a successful business, have employee, and disobey rules, right? Special labor laws. The U.S. Department of Labor requires you to display several notices about employees' rights. The requirements vary. Not all employees fall under those labor laws. The federal laws, so some employees don't have to post specific notices. However, it's safer to just have them posted. Have them posted. So whoever it applies to is great. If it doesn't apply to some folks, then that is also fine. But at least you'll have it posted. Okay. Now, choosing a payroll and record keeping method. Now that you have some employees for your business, in order to carry out those duties within the company, you want to be able to choose payroll and record keeping method. You need to set up a system to handle their paychecks and employment taxes. You might be able to take a DIY, do-it-yourself approach to payroll and record keeping if you're tax savvy. And a lot of small companies, of course, if you don't have a lot of employees and it's just a few of you in there, a lot of folks can do this themselves. For starters, again, but you have to know exactly what you are doing, because a simple thing can create a problem. Okay, so you have to be able to keep good records. You have to be very savvy. However, outsourcing it to an accountant or a payroll service might say you both time, save you both time and money. So it is better if you're not really savvy, this is not what you do, then just outsource your payroll and your payroll record keeping, because there's a lot of laws and a lot of things that is involved, even if you only have one employee, right? So plan your new employee experience, right? To help your new hire feel like they're a part of the team. Each new hire should get logins and passwords, access to the company communication channels and networks, and a copy of the employee handbook. So don't forget this. A lot of times we're too busy. So as a new company and as a small company, we tend to forget this. It's if you hire one person, make sure that they're very welcome. Make sure they have access to everything they have to have access to, so they can settle in and feel at home immediately. This way they can be a lot more productive right off the bat. Okay, so you also want to attract and hire the best candidate. How do we do this? All right, how do we do this? Online resources like monster.com, Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn can help you get your job posting out there, guys, in front of the right people. But you don't want to overlook employee referrals as well, or networking opportunities. You never know where you will find the next best employee. So wherever it is, make sure that at least you know who you need, you know what you're looking for, and you try to attract the right personnel in place, because of course that will get you there faster, and that will make the business grow and run more successfully quicker. Okay, so this is Elaine PROBY'S 5 steps to running a successful business. All right, so these are crucial elements, guys, that we have just gone over and discussed, and we want to make sure that you guys can implement them. The bank accounts information, implementing a strong operational system, acquiring essential tools and equipment, and strategically manage and get the right personnel within your business. And those things all encompasses the whole thing that you need to know in order for you to run and operate a successful business. All right. So make sure that you guys come back over here and check all the stuff out. Follow this step by step. Once again, don't half step anything there. As your business grow, you can expand on any of these categories as you see fit. But these are the 5 steps that you really need to know to run a very successful business. Okay, so that is it for this session. Guys, thank you for watching. And this is going to be posted on my website at elainesdesk.com. So at elainesdesk.com, this will all be housed there, so you guys can have access for this. So you could go again to elainesdesk.com and learn more about everything we talked about here. And if you haven't started your business, there's also a webinar that we have done that is there to tell you how to get it started. Okay, so once again, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.